Welcome to this new video where we're going to talk a bit about the latest news regarding Forza Horizon 6. Actually, we're talking about news. Real news. Since the developers have responded to the gameplay that was released for the game yesterday. On March 5th, 2026, there was indeed a gameplay video posted on IGN's channel. About 9 minutes of gameplay. It was the very first gameplay of Forza Horizon 6 without any cuts, without any interruptions, or without being broken up by cinematics or anything else. So it's really, let's say, the first real opportunity we have, as future players, to see what to expect. Despite some really good aspects in this gameplay, as we discussed yesterday, it still looks graphically impressive. It's true that the city looks huge. This time we're dealing with a real, modern, colossal city. Well, it's Tokyo, so that's normal, but let's just say, compared to the size of the city we had back then. For example, in Forza Horizon 3 or 4, in countries with large cities, we might have been concerned about the size of the one in Horizon 6. Well, in the end, that's pretty reassuring. The sound of the cars seems cool and the scenery looks quite detailed. However, there's a big problem, and we talked a lot about it yesterday in that video. The map is incredibly empty. As some people said, it looks like the gameplay was recorded during COVID in Forza Horizon 6. The streets are so empty. The main problem is the lack of NPCs, really. NPCs in traffic. You might see 3 or 4 every 500 meters in this gameplay, and everyone noticed that, including journalists who aren't specialized in racing games at all. It looks empty at first glance. So it's bad publicity for the game, because they managed to create, let's say, a lot of hype around Forza Horizon 6 back in January with the first trailer. When we first heard about the game, we were excited to learn we could customize our garages, houses, and more. There were high expectations around the first gameplay, and in the end, this first gameplay posted by IGN, well, it's not great. Seeing that the reactions to this first 9-minute gameplay were very mixed, the developers officially spoke out. Unfortunately, they did this through some secondary media. They did it mainly through the official Forza Horizon Discord, where they explained several things. These were actually responses to the players' criticisms about, well, this gameplay. And that's what we're going to talk about today, since I think not all of you are on Discord. I think a lot of people were actually a bit concerned, in the end, by this first gameplay. The first thing I obviously wanted to address is the traffic, which was extremely low during this gameplay. The developers explained that it had been partially disabled, that the traffic had been intentionally reduced, so that, well, first of all, the gameplay would be easier to record. Now, I don't know if it was the developers themselves who recorded the gameplay, or if it was someone at IGN. But at some point, guys, if you're a tester at a big channel like IGN, or if you're a racing game developer, and you can't avoid 3 or 4 cars in traffic, then there's a problem. So, it was supposedly done to make capturing the gameplay easier, but also so we could focus more on the design of the environment. We're focusing less on driving and more on the scenery, vegetation, and buildings. It's designed to be visually impressive, so I don't get why this choice was made. Currently, what stands out is the lack of traffic. Forza Horizon 6 will be a beautiful game, as the series is known for stunning racing visuals, so that's no surprise. It's a surprising choice, and honestly, we can wonder if it was really a choice. Maybe it's a technical limitation, maybe the game is still in the optimization phase? On some platforms, heavy traffic currently causes lag. You might question this. Developers claim they lowered traffic on purpose, which is odd, but not their only unusual decision. There are also some surprising choices on the graphics side in this first gameplay presentation. Many of you mentioned this in the comments. I didn't notice it or find it surprising, but it's true the colors are dull and there's little contrast between light and shadow. I thought it was normal, because this Forza Horizon 6 was supposed to have a pretty neutral, realistic artistic direction, quite different from what was done in Forza Horizon 3, 4, and 5, where we saw a different approach in the Forza Horizon games. Super saturated, warm colors, with lots of orange, red, and yellow. So this slightly colder look, I took it as something normal and intentional. But actually, that's not the case at all. During the gameplay, during its capture, HDR was apparently disabled, and that's what would explain why the image looks dull and a bit grayish at times, as if there wasn't enough contrast. Quite simply, we can wonder why it was disabled. Was it a mistake by the person who recorded the gameplay? Maybe the intern at Playground Games or at IGN? Who didn't notice there was an HDR setting? Or is it because of a bug that disables HDR? For now, we don't know. What we do know, however, is that this Forza Horizon 6 will be developed on the evolved graphics engine from Forza Motorsport, released in 2023, and that this engine specifically, well, at least in the case of Forza Motorsport, 2023 has always had an HDR problem. HDR has never worked properly in the game. which gave that same somewhat dull, grayish look to certain gameplay sequences. And honestly, when you know this, and you find out that HDR has been disabled on Horizon 6 knowing it's the same engine, you can still wonder, in this case too, whether it's also due to a bug in that famous graphics engine. And finally, the third rather strange choice that was made for this gameplay, and it's the same thing. I have to admit, I hadn't noticed it. The gameplay is in 30 FPS, but honestly, that doesn't bother me, because as long as the frame rate is stable, meaning it's always at 30 FPS, I don't find it disturbing. But it's true that when I watch the footage again, you can clearly see that it doesn't have the smoothness I'm used to. For instance, when I play Forza Horizon 5, I get well over 60 FPS. It seems this was also intentional during the capture. Apparently, this is mainly because the footage wasn't captured on PC, but rather on Xbox. And that raises a lot of questions. Does that mean the optimization still isn't finished for the Xbox versions? And that, for now, the console isn't able to run Horizon 6 in a good quality at 60 FPS? Is it a mistake, again, from the person who did the capture? And above all, why didn't they record the gameplay on PC? Especially since we know that, even though the gap has narrowed a bit over the years, the PC versions are generally always the best looking compared to the console versions, and especially versions where you can go over 200 frames per second without any problem, as long as you have the right setup. And this 30 FPS limit, unfortunately, is also what dulls the sense of speed a bit. There are quite a few people online who have said that Forza still hasn't worked on that. Honestly, when you play Motorsport 2023, the sense of speed is really good. But that's also because in Motorsport 2023 we have 60, 90, 240 FPS. And then, maybe this is more of a personal opinion, but I think the car chosen for this gameplay, and the style of gameplay shown in this video, in the end, isn't amazing. The game is set in Japan and features gameplay with a Saleen S7, an aging American supercar. And the driving style is neither really RP nor truly sporty, so it ends up making the video kind of dull. Honestly, I think we would have been happier to see a tuned Super Mark IV alternating between some RP driving styles, drifting, and really fast driving, rather than having this kind of dull gameplay like that. So yeah, that's a lot of choices. Really disappointing for this first gameplay, which was highly anticipated and ended up turning off a lot of people. Maybe it's true. Maybe it was all just bad choices. In that case, we can reassure ourselves by assuming there will be a Forza Horizon 6, with a lot more life, a lot more colors, more traffic and everything. On the other hand, it wouldn't be the first studio to cheat a little either. Artistic choices that actually reflect technical problems. I still don't get how they approved releasing this gameplay. There are many positives, though. It's nice to catch a glimpse of the roads we'll be able to travel. It still helps to keep up the hype for the game before its release. On the other hand, Xbox is still a huge publisher, and IGN is still one of the biggest video game channels in the world. On YouTube, one of the biggest media outlets. How could this have been approved? Whether it's on IGN's side or Xbox's side, something's not right. I think that if Forza had reached out to certain YouTubers, like for example, I'm thinking of R12 Black Panta, you know, really well-known people, I think that they, on their side, would never have let a gameplay of this quality slip through, especially when it's supposed to showcase the biggest Forza ever. Well, the good news is that IGN also responded, explaining that in the coming months and weeks, they will be posting more gameplay videos of the game, and that they will go into more detail about a whole bunch of aspects of the game. Hopefully this time, they'll find a PC capable of running Forza Horizon 6 and won't forget to enable HDR. So hopefully, we'll have the chance to see you again very soon with more interesting footage of Forza Horizon 6 and more news. Meanwhile, leave a like, subscribe for more videos, and use my instant gaming link to pre-order the game, up to 35% off. You'll support my channel too. And also, come follow me on Twitch, where I regularly do live streams and where I'll definitely be doing a lot more, especially on Horizon 6 as you can imagine. See you tomorrow for the next video, which won't be a news video this time, but we'll still be talking about Horizon 6. Feel free to leave a comment as well to say whether you believe in this story about disabled options or if, for you, it points to another problem. See you tomorrow for the next video. Thank you for watching this one. Bye.